Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this video we are going to talk about how to do environment setup for running JavaScript programs on your computer. So I am just going to tell you how to install the programs that are necessary for running JavaScript on your machine. So let's get started with this video. So basically in this video, first of all, we are going to see how to install the code editor. Now if you ask me what is a code editor, code editor is a place where you would write your code. Okay, so it is like you have a space, and in that space you can write your code. Now basically there are a lot of code editors in the market. Now some of the popular are VS Code, that is also called Visual Studio Code, and then we have Sublime Text, then we have Atom, then we have Notepad++, and then we have Notepad. But we should not use that Notepad. Okay, so why we should not use it, I would tell you, but before that let me tell you, VS Code would be the code editor that I would use for this whole series. So we would be going to download and install Visual Studio Code, also called VS Code in short, in our machine. Now you might ask me, like, why at all we need code editors when we have Notepad or something like this, like text editors like Notepad. Why we need code editors at that point? Like why we need VS Code? We just have to write some code and that's it. But that's not the thing. So you might be able to see a JavaScript program on your screen, and this program is written in Notepad. Now you might be able to see the code. Let me just show you the code when I write it in VS Code or Visual Studio Code. So now you can see the difference between both of these. Now if I ask you what would you choose, then I think your answer must be Visual Studio Code. See, you can see that this is the first feature, and that is syntax highlighting. This is the first feature of Visual Studio Code. So like this, there are a lot other features. For example, you can check the mistakes in your code. It would automatically tell like where you have done the mistake. Okay, it would highlight that part in which you have done the mistake. It would tell you that if some code is required or not required. It would also tell you that. So it has a lot of things to offer. These are some of the things that I told, but there are a lot of features of these code editors. And I'm going to tell you in this series, in this whole series, I'm going to tell you some tips and tricks for utilizing these things, okay, properly, so that you can increase your productivity. Okay, so let's see how to install Visual Studio Code editor. Okay, so for installing VS Code, just go to any browser. So I'm using Chrome browser. Just go to any browser and search for VS Code or Visual Studio Code. Now you would find this first link, code.visualstudio.com. So just click on this and then you should see something like this. Now from here you can download Visual Studio Code for any platform. If you're on Windows, you can download for Windows, for Linux, for macOS, for any operating system it's available. Okay, so you can freely download Visual Studio Code from here. So just click on this. It would automatically detect your operating system. So in my case I have Windows, so it has automatically detected my operating system. So you can directly download from this button, and if this fails in detecting your operating system, you can just click on other downloads, and then from here you can download for other operating system also. Okay, so I can just download for Windows only, so I just click on that, and then it should start downloading it, and you should see download somewhat here in Chrome. Okay, so basically my internet download manager is going to download it now. So I just click on start download. You can see that download has started and it's finished. Okay, so it was quick. Okay, now just click on open. So when you click on open, it should open the setup of Visual Studio Code editor. So it should look something like this. Now just read the agreements, okay, if you want to read it. Then after this you can accept the agreement. Okay, it's important to click on this. Next, click on next. After this you need to tell the location in which you want to install Visual Studio Code. Okay, but I'm just going to choose the default one. If you want to change it, just click on browse and choose the folder in which you want to install Visual Studio Code. So I'm just going to choose this one only. This is the default one. Click on next. After this, just click on next. Now here you have to do some important thing here. Okay, so you just need to click on this one, this and this and this also. If you want to leave it, you can leave that. Okay, this would create a desktop icon. If you don't want, you can just uncheck it, but you should check both of these. I would tell you the use of these things later on in this series. Okay, so but for now just check these two options. Okay, and if you want, you can check this also. So I'm just going to leave this one and just check these two options. Okay, just click on next. So after this, just click on install button. So I would click on install. Now you can see that the installation has started. Now it would take some time. Okay, so just wait for it to install. Now after this, you should see something like this, in which you would have the option to launch Visual Studio Code after installation. So just check it and click on finish. Now it should start Visual Studio Code here. You can see this is the Visual Studio Code. So you can see that our Visual Studio Code has now started. It should look something like this over here. So after installing Visual Studio Code editor, now we need to do some more things so that our editor becomes like more powerful for us. Okay, so we are going to do some things in this editor so that we can make it more powerful. Okay, so first of all, we are going to set up fonts. So we are just going to set up the font size and the font family so that the font looks good and is also large or small. So for setting up fonts, you can find this gear icon over here. Just click on this icon and just click on settings. And the shortcut for going to settings is that just click on Control and comma, and this should take you to settings. Now after this, here just search for font. Okay, now here you just need to change the font. So I just search font for here from here and just go down. Okay, so you can just go down. So from here you can choose the font family. I'm just going to take the default one, and now just choose the font size. So you can test the font size by clicking on file, then new file. Now type something here. You can see this is the current font size over here. You can see. I hope it won't be visible to you because it's too small to be visible. So I would just go to settings now and just change it to, for example, 35. Okay, you can set it up according to your screen size. My screen size is quite big, so 35 would be fine for me. Otherwise 15 is too small for me. Okay, so you can just set it up according to your preference. And yeah, so that's how we can set the font in Visual Studio Code. Now we are going to set up the theme. So basically we already have a very beautiful theme in VS Code or Visual Studio Code, but still I think that it can be lot improved if we add more themes. So we are going to see how to do this thing, and this is optional. You can skip it if you want, but we are going to show you that also. Okay, so you can set up your theme very easily by just clicking on this settings icon and then just click on the color theme over here. So just click on this color theme and you would see something like this over here. Now you can choose by your theme by just going up and down. Like you can test it by going up using up and down arrow key, and then you can select any theme by just clicking on that or just pressing enter. So first of all, you can see that. So for example, you can see all the themes over here. So these are the themes that are already there and are by default present in Visual Studio Code. So these are all the themes that are by default present in Visual Studio Code, and basically the dark plus Visual Studio Code, the visual and dark plus is the default. Okay, so but these are not the only themes that you can use in Visual Studio Code. There are other themes also which are present in Visual Studio Code, and to use these you have to download those themes. Okay, so for downloading these themes you can just go here and just click on extensions icon. After this, you should see something like this. Just search for themes. Now you would be able to find a lot of themes over here. You can see a lot of themes are here. You can install any of these themes. Talking about me, I use material theme a lot, and then I also use the atom theme, and then I also use GitHub theme. So I'm just going to use the GitHub theme in this video. So I can just install this. After installation, it should show something like this over here. Okay. Now you can choose again with up and down key. So I can just select any theme I want. Okay. So you can see all the themes over here. So I'm just going to choose this GitHub dark theme. I think that would be fine for me. Okay. So I have finally set up this thing. You can see, and if that pop-up which appears after installing the theme does not comes up, then you can just click on this settings icon and again click on this color theme. This should take you to this page again, but now in this case you should find the GitHub themes also here. So just choose any themes again. Okay, so I can just choose any of them and just click on the one I want. So I am just going to click on GitHub Dark and this would be applied for me. So that's how you can install a theme in your Visual Studio Code editor. Now we are going to install some important extensions. Now these extensions, as I said, would help you to increase your productivity. Okay, I'm not saying that Visual Studio Code without extensions is not good. It's good without extensions too, but I think that extensions take the Visual Studio Code editor to a lot good level. Okay, to a good level. Extensions of Visual Studio Code take it to a good level. So the extensions we are going to install are, first of all, we are going to install ESLint. Now I'm not going to tell you what is the use of all these extensions. I would show you the use when I feel that it's required to show that. But for now, you should install all these extensions that I'm saying. So first one is ESLint. Next extension is JavaScript and TypeScript nightly. Next extension is JavaScript debugger. Next extension is live server. Next extension is Prettier. So for installing ESLint, just type here ESLint and press enter. Now after this, it should search for it and just choose this one by Microsoft and click on install. It should install ESLint on your machine. After this, just search for the next extension, and that is Prettier. Just click on it, install. Then let's install live server now. Install. And it should install now. Then just type JavaScript and TypeScript. Just install this one by Microsoft and click on install. Just search for debugger and yeah, so this one, just install it. So now all the extensions which we need are installed on our VS Code, so we can move to the next thing. So now we are going to set up some settings for these extensions. So basically we have installed these extensions, but these extensions are not complete by their own. We have to change some settings to make it like work according to our requirements. Okay, so let's see how to do that. Now let's set up some important settings for our extensions that we have installed. So for doing this, just go to settings and just click on settings. So basically we are going to set the settings for Prettier extension. For the other extensions, we are not going to like modify any settings for now, but for Prettier we are going to modify one setting. So for this, just search for default formatter. Just search for that, and in the editor default formatter where none would be the selected one, just click on that and change it to the prettier extension. So okay, so it should show that up. Okay, so here it is, here's the prettier one. So just click on that and it should set prettier as the default formatter. Now after this, you just need to enable the, make sure these are enabled. After this, just search for formatter now. Now here just check this button, check this and check this. Okay, so these are two other settings that you need to change. After this, you have set up all the things that you need for using VS Code as your code editor. Now our VS Code has been installed, and the extensions and font size, our themes have been installed. Now we just need to install the browser environment and the node environment. Now in the previous video, I've already told you that we can run JavaScript in JavaScript runtime environment. Now basically we have two types of runtime environment. First one is browser runtime environment and the second one is node runtime environment. Okay, so basically we need to see how we can use both of these environments. So first of all, we are going to install the browser runtime environment, then we are going to install the node runtime environment, and then in the next video we would be going to see how to use these environments to run your JavaScript program. Okay, and in the next video only we are going to cover basic JavaScript program which is going to print hello world on the screen. Okay, so let's see how to install browser runtime environment. So to install browser runtime environment, we just need to install a web browser. As I said, web browsers have browser runtime environment, so obviously you need a browser. So I hope you have one browser installed on your system. If you are using Windows, then that would be Microsoft Edge, and if you are using macOS, then it should be Safari, and if you're using Linux, it would be mostly Firefox. So you might have one of these browsers by default on your operating system. So but other browsers that can be installed are Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, Opera, Internet Explorer, which you should not use now. Okay, Edge is a very great replacement for Internet Explorer. If you are using it, stop using it. Okay, now in these browsers I always recommend to use Chrome browser. See, Firefox would be the default for Linux, Edge would be the default browser for Windows, and Safari would be the default browser for macOS. So you need to install Chrome on your operating system so that you can use it, because I think it is the best browser available there. Okay, you can also use Edge. Edge is also great. I have used it now and I think it is also great, but still I am going to use Chrome. Okay, so you can install that. I'm not going to show you how to install that because I think it's very simple to download and install it. So now we are going to see how to install node environment. So node environment can be installed easily, but for that we need to install Node.js. So now let's see how to install Node.js. So now we are going to see how to install Node.js. For installing Node.js, you have to first download it. So for downloading it, just open any browser. So I'm just going to use Chrome browser and just search for Node.js. After this, this should appear on the first link. Just click on it and you should download the LTS version over here. Now you can choose this version, current version also, but the current version is the latest one and that means it can have some bugs, but the LTS version won't have a lot of bugs and maybe even no bugs. Okay, so just choose this one and start the download. After this, it should start downloading it, and after download is complete, just click on open. So it should show you something like this when it opens. Just click on next. After this, you can read the license agreements if you want to read it, Then just click on I accept the terms in license agreement and click on next. Then you can choose the path in which you want to install Node.js. I would choose the default one and click next and click next, then click next again and then click install. So now just click on yes if it asks you for the permission. It's currently asking me for click on yes button, but it won't be visible to you. So I would click on yes and then it should start installing it. You can see it's installing now. Just click on finish after the installation finishes. So that's all. You have installed Node.js on your system. For checking that your Node.js has been successfully installed, just go to start menu, search for CMD or command prompt. I would just make it large so that you can see it. Okay, let me show it to you. So now just type node dash version and press enter. If it shows version something like this, okay, like it can be different, version can be different, but it shows version, then you can conclude that your Node.js has been successfully installed. But if it's showing like Node.js is not recognized as a program or as a command, then your Node.js has not been successfully installed. So in that case, you can ask me in my Discord server so that I can help you. Okay, so that's how we can install Node.js. So that's it for this video. Thanks for being with me till the end of this video. If you like this video, please click that like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to our channel and press that bell icon to get updates of the latest video we upload. Thanks a lot. I would see you in the next video.